Hello, everyone. Today is day 63 in the war in Gaza, and we continue to daven to do mitzvos for increased merit, to hold in our hearts and to daven for everyone affected. Of course, for those who are still held captive, the Chayalim who are fighting on behalf of the Jewish people and everyone in Israel. But today is also day number one of the holiday of Chanuka. And Chanuka is the time that we thank Hashem. We remember the victory of the Chashmonayim. We thank Hashem for his eternal love and covenant and protection of the Jewish people. And we are to rejoice. We are to celebrate Hanukkah. And I hope everyone last night had a beautiful moment lighting the Hanukkah candles. We should find things in our lives that we are thankful for. But of course, we can't forget and ignore the experience of the entire Jewish people. In davening, we will say in every Shemona Esrei of Chanukah, Al Hanisim, Vala Porkan, Vala Gvuros, Vala Chuos, Vala Hamilchamos, regarding the miracles and the redemption, the might, the power, the salvations, and the wars that Hashem fights for us and empowers us to fight. Sha'asisa la'avosenu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh, that Hashem performed for our ancestors in those days so long ago against the Greeks over 2,000 years ago, and bazman hazeh, and in this time today. Those are incredibly powerful words today, and we should say them this year and mean them this year in a way that perhaps we have never done so before. Certainly that is true for me. I share with you a brief thought now in honor of Shabbos Chanukah, which we'll be celebrating, experiencing, enjoying in just hours, I guess. There's a famous machlokas between Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai, often discussed how to light the Chanukah candles. Beis Hillel is our practice, lights one on the first night as we did last night, and then increases every night until the last night, 8. We light 8 candles, 1 up to 8. And Beis Shammai disagrees and says there's also progression, but it goes from 8 down to 1. You start on the first night, you light 8 candles, and then you decrease 1 candle each night until you only have 1 candle left on the first night. The Gemara doesn't really doesn't really explain the reasoning behind those two opinions. Beis Hillel seems intuitive, obvious. What a wonderful idea. 1 candle, adding 1 candle. It is positive. It is looking to the future. But Beis Shammai seems very difficult. Why would we decrease? It seems so pessimistic. It seems so negative. Why go down? Don't we go up in Judaism? Why go down? But it occurred to me a new insight into the opinion of Beis Shammai, which really is an insight into all understandings of the holiday of Hanukkah. And that is the essence of Hanukkah. The basic mitzvah of the menorah is the single candle. Ner ish ubeso, the basic mitzvah beyond any extras, the mahadran, and the mahadran is to light 1 candle. The message of Hanukkah is the power of that 1 candle, the 1 flame, that the Chashmonayim found 1 jug of oil, which should have only lasted 1 day, but it lasted more than that. That single jug can do more than we imagined, that it is the first step, it is the first spark, the single flame that will grow and grow and grow. Beis Hillel says we start with 1 candle, with 1 lamp on the first night, and then we add each night to show the progression of nights. Look what 1 candle can do. 1 can become 2, can become 3, can become 8. And Beis Shammai agrees. Beis Shammai says, yes, this holiday is about the power of the single candle, and therefore we start with 8. We say, look at this incredible thing before us. We have so much to thank Hashem, but let us remember that 8 started with 7, and we work backwards. That 7 started with 6, and that 6 started with 5, until the final night, that the apex is when we reach the realization that it all started with 1. That is the grand finale, that single beautiful flame burning at night, lighting up the darkness. It is the power of the single candle. We exist in a time, we live in a time, we look around where the negativity can be just overwhelming. The pain that exists in Israel, the struggles in Israel, the hatred that exists for the Jewish people across the world, after the events of this week, the incredibly upsetting testimony of the presidents of the universities, the anger, the ignorance that seems to exist even in America. It seems overwhelming. What can we do? And the truth is, each of us alone We can't change it. We can't change it. We can't change everything ourselves. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't do anything, because that first step is the critical one. The first candle, every single flame, a lonely flame, can bring so much light, can do so much. That is the message of Hanukkah. The message of Hanukkah is be the single candle. Just do something. Even if you can't rid all of the darkness, but bring some amount of light. The truth is, there are things we can do. We can't change the world, but there are things we can do. But in our Friday Erev Shabbos videos of our Torahs, we have been focusing on chesed, and every act of chesed is a candle, does bring light into the world. And so perhaps this Shabbos, not asking for anything recurring, just one Shabbos, one act. Think of one thing you can do this Shabbos, one act of chesed. Bring a little bit more light into the world. At home, do something to prepare for Shabbos, or to help on Shabbos, something that you normally wouldn't do. At Shul, some act of chesed that is not asked from you, to hold the door open, or to help to do something, to help set up or clean up Kiddush, to go over to someone and say, I see you every Shabbos for years and I've never actually introduced myself. Hello, I'm so-and-so. One act of chesed, not for every Shabbos, just this Shabbos, Shabbos Chanuka. Shabbos Chanuka, the holiday of Chanuka, is about the single candle, the single flask, cruse of oil. It can do more than we think it will. And so let us all be that single candle. And each of us, if each of us is a single candle, that will create quite a beautiful, quite an illuminating, quite a glorious menorah of a community. And with that, I wish you all a wonderful Shabbos Chanukah, good Shabbos, and Shabbat Shalom.